Hello everyone, this is going to be a review of the Scale 118 Ferrari 308 GTB by Hot Wheels Mattel. First of all, I just want to say I apologize for not making a video in a while. It's been pretty busy, and I do realize that this car was actually requested to do a re-review 9 months ago, so I also apologize for that. It actually, I didn't write it down, so it slipped my mind. But anyway, I finally got to it, so better late than never, I guess. So let's get started here. Now, Hot Wheels Mattel, as I have mentioned in prior videos, it's kind of the cheaper version of the Hot Wheels Elite. Then there's actually a Hot Wheels Super Elite, which is ultra realistic. This car, this particular 308 GTB, which is a 1984 model, could also be considered 1983 up till 1986, I think. There is an Elite version, but I got this because it was more affordable, and really it's pretty darn nice for the cost. The number one highlight about it is the paint quality, and first off I just want to mention that, like the 458 and other Hot Wheels Mattel, it has plastic pieces like the plastic bonnet, I guess you'd call it, and plastic doors, and back here that's also plastic. So that is one downside. However, I will say that they did a phenomenal job trying to mix it up and make it look like metal, because on this car you just can't tell the difference between the plastic and the metal. With the Ferrari 458, in the sunlight you can sort of see a difference. Not really with this, maybe ever so slightly on the door panel, but it's pretty good. So this is definitely a good alternative. Really, the plastic doesn't bother me on this particular model. And the paint quality throughout the entire car is just excellent, so that also adds to the effect. Now, this is a European model 308 GTB, and I'm estimating that based on the exhaust pipe, which it doesn't have the the large catalytic converter on the back of the US versions, and the bumpers are also smaller. However, it does have the triangular hazard light in the front, which indicates that it's an American model, US. But so I don't know. I think it was kind of a mix, and they probably based this car off of something in a museum in the US, a converted Euro model. But anyway, that's not too important for the model. Oh, I will mention that when you get this car, you will see that the headlight, you can see that we have orange on the outside and white on the center. That was actually incorrect. It was swapped on the other side, and the way I fixed that, I just peeled it off and then re-glued it back on to be the correct pattern. So that's it. So on the exterior, you can see that there are these fake vents which really don't go anywhere, but they do look pretty good. And same thing on the back. They look really nice, I will say. Ferrari logo, unlike the 458. It is not a sticker, so you don't have to worry about it peeling. This also isn't, let's see, is that a sticker? Well, if it is a sticker, it's very, very well put on there, so you don't have to worry about that coming off either. And that isn't a sticker. Pininfarina. This is perhaps one of the most beautiful Ferraris in my opinion. Definitely. Nice wheels here. Ferrari logo in the center. They look pretty good. This license plate was added by me. Ferrari logo there. Not bad. The bumpers have a kind of matte black plastic on it. Makes it look a little more realistic. On the inside, now, this does have the same mold as the Ferrari Elite, or the Ferrari 308 GTB Elite. The difference is that none of the buttons are really colored in, and that shouldn't be too big of a deal, because if you so desired, you could actually go in there and color the buttons yourself and save probably $40 on the Elite one, or you could just go all out and get the Elite by all means, whichever works best for you. So I'm trying to zoom into the gauge pack, which as you can see is actually just a sticker. Not a big fan of the sticker, but it is there. It works, I guess. Kind of an interesting pattern on the dash. Doesn't necessarily look like leather though. Two-tone, that's good. See, not a bad door sill. Kind of looks fake though. And this is probably, you know, if there was a piece of this car that was carried directly over from the Elite model, it was the seats. And I can tell just by the texture of it, it just seems very high quality. The stitching goes throughout, super fine, really everywhere. It's almost like they just didn't care to make a new seat for the cheap car, so they just pulled it out of the Elite. Hey, works for me. I don't have a problem with it. It looks really good. Engine bay also carried over from the Elite. A little bit less coloring, not as many of the wires that should be in place, but it does look pretty good. Hot Wheels Mattel they do a pretty good job of bringing the price down for this, because I understand that the licensing to get a Ferrari model is pretty high. There's the wheel in the front. This also indicates that it's a US model, the fact that it has a full-size spare tire. US regulations back then. Grills in the front. They don't go all the way through, but they look like they do. Oh, my bad. You know what? I just discovered that now. You can see that they do actually go all the way through. Wow. Learn something new every day. Every time I look at these models. Paint job is flawless. Underneath, I realize I've been forgetting to show the underneath, so I'm going to make sure I focus on that. Typical with Ferraris. The paragraph that lets them know that it's theirs. 2009. Not too overly impressive. I think them putting this paragraph here actually detracts a little bit from the car, because you miss some of the detail in the front, but it's possible that the car actually is like that. There really isn't too much equipment on the front naturally, because it's a mid-engine car. And for that, I mean, you can see that the oil pan, I mean, everything is for the most part shown. And a lot of it is actually raised from the bottom, but all the same color. You can see the suspension here. That's actually just a piece of plastic instead of something raised. Not too bad, not fantastic. Accurate wheel tread. And of course it was made in China, as all these models are. So overall, I really do like this car. The detail that it lacks on the interior is most certainly forgivable, considering the quality of the metalwork and the paint job on the exterior, as well as, you know, the wheels turn, and it does not have suspension, but it works really good as a model. And even though it does have plastic, which is of course not ideal, it's made up pretty well, and it works nice. I mean, the lines are very sharp everywhere around the car, so it definitely seems as if they put some attention into this. It's not like some of the Maestos where, you know, the line between the opening door and the metalwork is very wide. This, I mean, very flush, very well done. So anyway, so I got this for about $40. So if you can still find it, I would recommend it. However, you might be interested in spending just a little bit more to get that extra detail in the interior, as well as some minor details in the exterior. But for the most part, it's going to be the same thing with the budget version and the Elite. So that's all. Thanks for watching, and that's it.